Good morning, my dear legendary final year students, which is final year students. Today we are going to listen to Om Morning. Heartily welcome to the classroom, a webinar, online webinar. So now today we are going to discussing about okay. So yesterday we already discussed So once and all of you, good morning. Today, a wonderful learners is there. Okay, and one more, all of you must mute yourself. So when I ask a question, you must be respond, right? So already we discussed respiratory organs from protology 1 to mammals, like what are the different respiratory organs are there and types of respiration we discussed. Today we are going to discussing about okay, so respiratory system. Okay, respiratory system in man. We already discussed it in previous semester. That is rabbit. That is rabbit. Okay, so today we are going to discussing about what now? The respiratory system. The respiratory system in man. That is man. Okay, respiratory system in man. What are the respiratory system? Actually, in man, especially, what type of respiration, ma? Pulmonary respiration. What, ma? Which respiration takes place? Pulmonary respiration takes place. Which respiration, ma? Pulmonary respiration takes place in the, so in man, very important, right? So, very important. And respiratory system, what are the respiratory system is there? For example, see, in this respiratory tract, this is called what nostril. That means which nostrils? External nostrils. External nostrils are external nostrils. And this one, nozzle cavity. What ma? Nozzle cavity. Nozzle cavity is there. External nostrils, nozzle cavity. This nozzle cavity, which is open into what ma? So that is pharynx. Pharynx. This pharynx. Okay. And the pharynx which are open into this pharynx are the pharynx which are open into, that is larynx is there. Okay, larynx, this is larynx. Okay, larynx is there. So this larynx, and now this is called this is called so that is trachea. Trachea is there. Okay, trachea. And this trachea, okay, and split into two branches. The trachea split into two branches. Split into two branches are there. The two branches, okay, that is this is a okay trachea. Trachea, which is split into branches, that is called primary branches. Okay, primary branches. This primary bronchus, which is split into secondary bronchus. Secondary bronchus. Secondary bronchus. The secondary bronchus, split into. Okay, the secondary bronchus split into tertiary bronchus. Tertiary bronchus. Okay, this tertiary bronchus, which is having which is having the tertiary bronchus, which is having all veolis. All veoli. All veolis. This is a respiratory tract about the respiratory system in man. Respiratory system in man. Now, so this is a respiratory tract. What are the respiratory tract about the man? Come on, tell me. So, number one, okay, external nostrils, next nozzle cavity, next pharynx, next larynx, and trachea, and primary bronchi, that means lungs, secondary bronchus, third bronchus, tertiary bronchus, and alveoli. Okay, so this is on respiratory tract of man. In man, which is lungs are present, that means one pair of lung is present. So that is very well. Okay, so that's why man is a pulmonary respiration. Now, one by one, I would like to give one by one. What is external nostrils? What is external nostrils? External nostrils, remembering one thing, the external nostrils which are open into outside. Title, external nostrils. These external nostrils which are open into outside. Okay, with the help of external nostrils, we are, inhalation of oxygen from environmental air into nostril cavity. Inhalation of oxygen through the pores is called external nostrils. Right? That is important. Now, the environmental air, the oxygen which is air enters into nostril cavity. Okay, so that is very, very important. Here, two nostril cavity, which is separated by. Okay, one is there, that is called here one wall-like structure is there, that is called nozzle septum. That is called what? Nozzle septum. Once I repeat, nostril cavity. Okay, this nozzle cavity, second point, nozzle cavity which is separated by one wall-like structure, that is called wall-like structure, that is called septum. It is called this nozzle cavity divides with the septa is there, that is called nozzle septum. Right? Very important. Now, one more important thing. Okay, there is nozzle cavity and buccal cavity. Nozzle cavity and this one is buccal cavity. This one is buccal cavity. Okay, now clear? So, this nozzle cavity, 1 minute, I will go. Okay, so this nozzle cavity and buccal cavity, nozzle cavity and buccal cavity. This is nozzle cavity, this is a buccal cavity. Nozzle cavity and buccal cavity which is separated by here in the nozzle cavity, buccal cavity separated by one part is present, that is called palatine. That is called what? Palatine. Palatine. This palatine is a hard palatine is there and soft palatine is there. So that is one of the. Okay, now next to nozzle cavity. The nozzle cavity, very important. In the nozzle cavity, what are the presence? Okay, so nozzle cavity always which is wet condition because of the nozzle cavity which is contains mucus. The nozzle cavity which is lined by mucus and small That means hair particles are present. Some hair particles are present in the nostril cavity. Mucous glands are present and hair is present. These mucous glands to secrete mucin. These mucous glands to secrete mucin. Okay, and air also which is present in the nostril, right? So, what is the importance of these mucin? The nostril cavity always wet condition which is lined by mucous glands which secretes the mucin. These mucin and air, that means hair function is what? Mucin and air function. Okay, Sangeeta, you must be good, ma. Okay, because of sound will be coming. So what, ma? So in the nostrils, okay, air is present and nostril cavity which is wet in condition because of mucous gland to secretes mucin. Mucous gland which is to secretes what, ma? Mucous glands to secrete the mucin is there. These mucin, which what is the function of mucin? Number one function actually in the environmental temperature air. Environmental temperature air which contains nearly sometimes in summer season 30, 45, 50 also there. That hot air which is enters the nasal cavity, the nasal cavity to convert the 50 temperature of air to convert into 37. Or sometime in winter season or cold season, whatever 25, 10, 20 is there. That air converts 37 degrees Celsius. Because of our body temperature in 37 degrees Celsius or 98.4 Fahrenheit degrees Celsius. Okay, in that means this mucin, this nasal cavity converts whatever the body temperature is there in the air, that converts by the mucin. Number two function, use mucin to attract, to adhesive, to hold the microorganisms in the air. Whatever we inhale, whatever to be inspired of oxygen, of air, the air which contains so many dust particles. Those dust particles and microorganisms to be hold, to be adhesive, to attract, to hold the that type of microorganisms. That means that air should be filtered. The air should be filtered in the nostril cavity. And these mucin should not allow some microorganisms into respiratory tract. Okay. What because? What ma? Any doubt? Okay. No problem.
Audio clear avadle sir.
What ma?
Audio cut aitund sir.
Okay, clear. So no problem. You must be mute. Once I repeat. So nostril cavity to convert the body, converts the air temperature into body temperature. Number one point. Number two, in the air, so the microorganisms should not allow into respiratory tract. That is, mucin is one of the important. That's why mucin is a defense. Mucin is responsible for the first defense in the body. Should not allow any microorganisms in the air into respiratory tract. That is it. And your hair also present. This hair also, what happens if any dust material, any dust material is enters into nasal cavity. For example, chalk water is enters nasal cavity. Immediately, sneezing will come. Immediately sneezing will come. Who generates the sneezing? That so that air start generating sneezing. That in that condition, like touch. So you must be that sneezing will come in that condition. So that dust particles and microorganisms which comes outside. So this air and nasal cavity should not allow the microorganisms in the air into respiratory tract. Okay, so that is protected by the nostril. Clear? Next one, nostril cavity is completed. Next one, through the internal nostrils. Okay, internal nostrils are there. Here, internal nostrils are there. So after nostril cavity, that air which is enters into through the internal nostrils into pharynx. Internal nostrils into pharynx. Already told you. What is pharynx? The pharynx is called, already told you, it is a passage of or junction of air and food particle. Junction of air, food particles is called junction of air That means air and food particles is called larynx, right? So this is very very important. One more important thing. Sometimes remembering one thing. Sometimes okay, we are engulfing the food material that is also enters into pharynx. We are breathing also, right? So here one of the question will be raised. Sir, we are eating food material. That food material which is sometimes which is enters into respiratory tract. It is enters. It is enters. No. Here, remembering one thing, the food material should not enter into respiratory tract. Okay. Here, what happened? Here, in the respiratory tract, in the pharynx. Okay. So, come on, tell me. So, the food should not enter into respiratory tract. It is guarded by. It is guarded by. So, that is called. Okay, that is called. What happened? Epiglottis is there. What epiglottis is there. This epiglottis. So this epiglottis, okay, so which is responsible for this epiglottis which is made up of cartilage. This epiglottis which is made up of what cartilage. So cartilage, this epiglottis to guarding the should not allow the food material into respiratory tract. Very very important. That is, I think whether we are open the buccal cavity, in the pharynx, something small tongue-like structure part is there, that is called epiglottis. Small tongue-like structure part is there, that is called what epiglottis. The epiglottis to guarding. So to guarding the food material should not enter into respiratory tract. That's very very important. Clear? So remembering one. Then later that air should be enters into what so in the respiratory tract, that is in the lung parts, in the lungs. Okay. So clear, very important thing. That is important thing. Okay, in the lungs. So the first part of lung that is called larynx. Larynx is called is known as it is a sound box. The larynx is also known as called what sound box. So in the larynx, remembering one thing. So the larynx which is guarded by okay, the larynx which are guarded by one important beside of the trachea of larynx, one cartilage thyroid gland is present. What thyroid gland is present. Thyroid gland is present. This thyroid gland look like an apple shape. The thyroid gland cartilage. So totally in the larynx, in the that means totally 9 cartilage parts are present. What cricoid, thyroid, glenoid, and different something bone-like structure parts is present in the larynx, right? That is mainly bigger one, that is called thyroid gland. Okay, thyroid cartilage. This thyroid gland, which is a biggest endocrine gland. Thyroid gland is but biggest endocrine gland which is present in the beside of the trachea and below of the larynx, right? That larynx which is covered by thyroid gland, right? Now the thyroid gland look like a apple shape structure. That's why it is called thyroid gland is called a thorn apple. It is also called what? It is also called thorn apple. Thorn apple. It is the biggest endocrine gland. So this thyroid gland we are discussing about in endocrine glands also. We are discussing about there. So that is very important. Now coming to the point, once again repeat, larynx which is called sound box. The sound box which is covered by 9 cartilage bones are there. That is a bigger one, that is called cricoid, glenoid. Different types are that. Is not essential forever. Okay. Which one is very important? Which one is bigger? Thyroid gland membrane cartilage is a bigger one. Okay. Now this larynx is called sound box. It is also called sound box. So some of the mimicry persons to be by generating of that means expiration of in which condition in the sound box the sound will become, or inspiration of air or expiration of air. Come on, tell me, anybody? Okay, we are breathing. During the breathing time, what happened? By inspiration time the sound will become, or expiration time the sound will become. Come on, tell me, anyone? Anybody can say? Anybody can say?
Time, sir.
What ma? Adiba? During the inspiration, the sound will
Expiration.
become. During the expiration, the sound will become. Tell me. Tell me, ma. Adiba. Okay, no problem. I would like to give the answer. So, during the inspiration, we are breathing. No sound will become. Whether the expiration, like that, in the expiration time, the sound will become. During the inspiration, the sound not. Okay, now that is very, very important. So, in Telugu, Nichvasa, Uchvasa. What is that called, Kamadama? So, in expiration time, that sound will become. Okay, that during that expiration time, expiration process, some of the mimicry person of singers, they are controlling the larynx. The sound will be different. Okay, so that is one of the important about larynx. Now the air should be entered into trachea. What is trachea? Trachea is, someone tell me, trachea is also known as sound, that means wind pipe. It is also called wind pipe. Very, very important. This trachea is called what, beta? Wind pipe. The trachea is called what, ma? Wind pipe. Okay, so wind pipe is there. So this wind pipe, which is responsible for okay. So it is a one of the tube-like structure. It is a tube-like structure. That's why it's called the wind pipe. Now, number 2 point of trachea. The trachea which is made up of what, ma? So which is C-shaped cartilage rings are there. C-shaped, what now? Which shape, ma? C-shaped shock, that means cartilage rings are there. The trachea which is made up of C-shaped cartilage rings are there. These cartilage rings are which is there. That's why it is look like a elastic nature. Elastic nature. So that's why trachea is made up of C-shaped cartilage rings are there. So it is look like what happened, ma? Elastic nature of the wind. That's why wind pipe. Then next one. So this windy pipe, which is the wind pipe, which is split into 2 parts. That is primary bronchi. Primary bronchi. Then primary bronchi, which is again split into secondary bronchi. Secondary bronchi to tertiary bronchi. Tertiary bronchi to open to alveoli. Alveoli. This is a respiratory tract of what happened, ma? Respiratory tract of man. Now, I would like to give now lungs. We're discussing about lungs. Okay, now you must put title lungs. What are the lungs parts? Just now I told you. So, how many lungs are present? How many lungs are present? Okay, remembering one thing. So, the lungs, where it is present, the lungs are guarded by what? Okay, number 1. So, 2 lungs are present. Left side lung and the right side 2 lungs are present. Number 1 point. Okay, so the right side lung. Okay, now. So 2 lungs are there. One pair of lung is present in the. So remembering one thing, the man. Okay, number 1. Okay, right side lung which contains 3 parts are there. Okay, this is anterior right lung. That means posterior right lung and middle one. Anterior, middle and posterior. Simply, the right part of the lung which contains 3 parts. Right part of the lungs which contains 3 parts are there. Right? And the left part of the lungs which contains what? So 2 lobes are there. Right lung which contains 3 lobes. Anterior, middle, posterior. Right lobe which contains 2 lobes, that means which contains 2 parts. Right part which contains left part which contains 2 parts. Right part which contains 3 lobes, left part which contains 2 lobes, right? So that is very important. Now, next coming to the point, okay, the lungs which are guarded by, okay, the lungs which are covered by one membrane is there, that membrane is called The lungs which are covered by one membrane is there. That membrane is called pleura. What ma? Pleura. The lungs which are covered by what ma? Pleura is there. Pleura. Remembering one. Pleura. Okay. This pleura which is filled with the fluid is called pleuritic or pulmonary fluid. Pulmonary fluid. Which fluid ma? Pulmonary fluid. Okay. So the lungs which are covered by pleura, right? The pleura which is filled with pulmonary fluid or pleuritic fluid also there. Okay, what is the function of pulmonary fluid? This pulmonary fluid, which is the function, what happened to bond in, to protect the lungs against with the external shocks. Once and I repeat, this pleura, this pulmonary fluid, which is to protect the against with the external shocks. That is one of the two. Next, where it is present of lungs. The lungs are present in which cavity? The lungs are present in which cavity, mama? So, come on, tell me, this is which cavity? Come on, tell me, what is this cavity? The cavity is called thoracic cavity. The lungs are present in the cavity. The cavity is called thoracic cavity. Okay. Now, the lungs are protected external side. That is, ribs are there and sternum is present. In the dorsal side, spinal cord is present. Okay, now. So, external protection in the ribs and sternum is there, but the external side, that means dorsal side, that means spinal cord is present. Vertebral column is present, right? Next one, very important thing. Okay, so between the two lungs here, one space is present. Okay. Between the two lungs, the space is present. Between the two lungs, the space is called mediastinum. So that is what, karma? That is what is that called? Someone tell me. That is called. It is called mediastinum. Mediastinum. Okay. Between the lungs, the space is called, that is called mediastinum. In the mediastinum, what happened? So, our heart is present. Remembering one thing. Our heart is present. Okay, sometimes the heart is present in the left side of the lungs, right? That is the mediastinum is present. That's why. So, the left side lung is small in size, right side lung is big in size. Remembering one. Okay, na? So, why the left side lung is small in size? Because of mediastinum is present in the nearly 1/3 part. 1/3 part of what happened? A heart which is present in the left side. That's why left side part of the lung which is small in size. Right side of the part which is lung is a 1/4 part which is present in the. That's why, so the right side part of the lung which is in the beginning size in 3 lobes. Left side 2 lobes are there. That is one of the important question will come in the entrance level. In NEET level, group 1 level, PG entrance level, whatever it may be, any level will ask. What is the space, ma? The space is called mediastinum. The space is called mediastinum. Remembering one thing, that is one of the thing. Clear? Now, coming to the point. Okay, this is next. So, what was study of lungs? Study of lungs is called pulmonology. What ma? Pulmonology or pleurology. The study of lungs is called pulmonology or pleurology. Very important. Okay. Now, so in the lungs, what are the parts are there? Just already given. That means larynx. Okay, trachea, bronchus, primary, secondary, tertiary, and alveoli. Now, small title, alveoli. What is alveoli? Ma? alveoli is nothing but is a structurally, functionally unit of lungs. Structurally, functionally unit of lungs is called alveoli. Nearly in man, how many alveoli are there? So simply nearly 700 millions. 700 millions of alveoli are there. Once I repeat, alveoli means what beta? Structurally, functionally unit of lungs is called what ma'am? So that is alveoli, right? So how many millions are there? Nearly 700 millions are there. So 350 left, 350 right. Okay, 700 millions of alveoli are there. Now, what the alveoli which contains what ma? In the alveoli, the blood is purified. Okay, very very important. In the alveoli, blood capillaries are present. In the alveoli, blood capillaries are present. So, okay, na, that means the carbon dioxide. That means deoxygenated blood purified. For example, see. For example, in the this is alveoli one. In this alveoli, one of the part which is deoxygenated blood, one of the part of this oxygenated blood. This is the DO2 blood. This is O2 blood. Okay, in the alveoli, okay, which is present in the lungs, in the alveoli. So the deoxygenated blood to be purified into oxygenated blood through the blood capillaries of alveoli. Okay, that's why the lung is called the purifier of the body. Which part is known as purifier, blood purifier of the body? That is called lungs. But whereas kidney is a filter of the body. Okay, now so filter organ, filter of the blood filter is called kidney. Blood purifier is called what ma? So that is very very important. Okay, clear? That's why deoxygenated blood is converted into or purified into oxygenated blood in the blood capillaries of the alveoli. That is a function of alveoli. Okay, now clear? And remembering one thing, this lung to takes very very important. The lungs to takes the blood, very important thing to receive the blood from the various organs. The lungs are to receive the deoxygenated blood from heart through the that is called pulmonary aorta. Through the pulmonary aorta. Very important. Once I repeat, what happened ma? The lungs are to receive the blood, deoxygenated blood from heart to lungs, that is called pulmonary aorta. Okay, and after purification of this blood to send oxygenated blood from lungs to heart through the vein is called pulmonary vein. Pulmonary vein, very very important. These are the important veins and arteries we are discussing about circulation, right? So this is important about the respiratory tract of man. Respiratory tract of man is very important. Okay, so here that means these lungs which are that means in the sometimes very important what happened ma, these lungs are which is not enters into abdominal cavity because of here one god is there. That god is called okay, diaphragm, and these lungs are which is what happened ma, which is holding with muscles are there, that is called intracostal muscles and extracostal muscles are there. Diaphragm is there, intracostal muscles and extracostal muscles are there. So these muscles, diaphragm, okay, and sternum, okay, which are responsible for what? Whatever, respiration. Okay, so come on, tell me one question with you. Okay, come on, tell me whether the environmental air is enters into lungs. How the environmental air enters into lungs? Whether lungs are expansion, the air should be enters into lungs, or what happened, ma? Whether air is entered, the lungs are expansion. Which is right? Which is right? Anybody can say? Once and I repeat. Once and I repeat. Whether air is enters, the lungs are expansion. Okay, where the lungs are expansion, the air is enters. Come on, tell me, which is right? Which is right, ma'am? Come on, tell me.
Sir, when we take air from the environment, our lungs should be contraction takes place.
Okay, right. Contraction takes place. Okay, I think it is nearer to right answer, of course. Okay, come on, tell me. This is the mechanism. Respiratory mechanism is the how to inspiration, how to expiration, in which condition. This is the question for today. So, which is right? Whether environmental air is enters into lungs, the lungs are expansion takes place. Okay, when the lungs are expansion, the environmental air is entered. Which is right? Tomorrow you must be due and refer the books, and tomorrow you should give the right answer. And today the session is going to end, and tomorrow we will continue what happened na? What respiratory mechanism, how to control of respiration, right? And oxygen transport and transport of gases, oxygen and carbon dioxide. We'll discussing about tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow, day after tomorrow, we'll discuss it. Okay, now. Thank you very much. Is there any doubts? Okay, you must be any doubt. Is there any doubt? No doubt. Okay, come on, tell me. I will ask one question. I will ask one question. Anybody can say the answer. So 1 minute. Shekhar. ఏం లేదు కొంచెం క్లాస్ ఉందమ్మా. Okay, so I would like to ask one question. What about our second year exams? Okay, actually the second year exams will come in soon. Actually, you must be have compulsory exams after final exams. Your timetable schedule also will come. First of all, you must be concentrate and final year. Don't bother about second year exams, right? So I would like to ask one question. Anybody can say, okay, if it is food is enters into pharynx, okay, food is enters into pharynx, but that food is enters into respiratory tract. Respiratory tract, it is possibility is there, but it is not enters into respiratory tract, which is to guarding. Come on, tell me. Come on, tell me.
Is
Anybody?
epiglottis, sir.
Yes, very good, excellent answer. Epiglottis is there. Epiglottis is there to guarding the food should not allows into the respiratory tract. That is epiglottis. Okay, now come on, tell me. Epiglottis, which is made up of what? Epiglottis, which is made up of come on, tell me.
Epiglottis is made up of cartilage.
Very good, cartilage. Very good, excellent answer. And which gland is the biggest endocrine gland?
The biggest endocrine gland is the thyroid gland.
Okay.
Thyroid gland, sir.
Thyroid gland. Okay, nice, very excellent answer. I would like to ask Adipa. Come on, tell me. So in the nasal cavity, that means what? In the air, microorganisms, food, that means dust particles should not enter into respiratory tract. But here, which parts are do guarding? Come on, tell me. Adiba. Adiba, Jesse, or anyone is there? Bushra, tell me.
In the nasal cavity, there are two things are present. That is mucus and diets are also present. Diets are prohibiting the dust particles and microorganisms to enter inside.
Okay. Should not enter. Why? Okay. My question is try to understand. If it is air particles are present, nasal cavity, mucus is present, but how to guarding these two? Should not all those in the respiratory. How? Airs are which are giving?
By sneezing mechanism.
Okay, very good, excellent. By sneezing mechanism, that microorganism, dust particles should not enter respiratory tract, which is comes outside again. Okay, na? That is a first primary defense mechanism is called innate immunity. Okay, na? So thank you very much for your kindly response. I respect your time. I respect your attitude. I respect your. I spent a lot of time, nearly 1 hour. Thank you very much. Okay, today the session is going to end. Thank you very much. This is Krishna, HOD of Zoology, Sri Vasudeva College, signing out. Thank you.